Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Path of Exile video. This one, I'm going to talk about the Dark Pact, state of Dark Pact in 3.16. It is a theoretical video. I'm going to show you what we've accomplished so far. And a little quick note for everyone watching these videos. I will be updating every single one of my build guides live on stream. That means I will not be touching them off stream. I will be updating them all live so that everyone who wants to watch the build guides getting updated and have any questions about these can watch this live on stream. In the links in the descriptions below, I will leave a rough draft of this POB that we have so far with the Necromancer Dark Pact build, and will also be a link descriptions to get the developer POB, which is the current one we have access to, and hopefully we'll have the proper forked POB updated very soon. So let's not waste your time. Let's talk about Dark Pact. First off, for those of you who are new to this build is going to be fucking insane. All right, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Jokes aside, the Dark Pact is a very niche playstyle. It requires you to cast skeletons, and then your skeletons, thanks to Feeding Frenzy, will charge your enemies, and you'll cast Dark Pact on them. This will AoE on them, and each single chain effect from the Dark Pact is essentially worth 100% more damage to the build. And each chain can hit the same targets, so you just 100% more damage. And each individual hit will count as a hit for you, which means that leech mechanics and whatnot is really crazy in this. This build goes into so many different mechanics, such as going with a pure hybrid approach, using Petrified Blood for low life in a hybrid approach, leech mechanics on both life and energy shield. It is so much to go through, and I don't want to go through that in this theoretical video. So instead, I'll leave a link in descriptions below to the build guide that I will be updating in the coming days, and talk about the approach that we've sorted here. Basically, you want to start with speccing out these nodes with intelligence to save your points in this. In higher levels, you can drop this and get the spell the cast speed, but in higher levels, you might want to look into more cluster jewels instead. But I'm going to show you how it looks in the current state at level 93 right now. This build is doing around 6 million shape DPS. Like I've mentioned several times in the past, the DPS in Dark Pact is always a little bit inflated because of the time ramp to get 15 Wither stacks, as well as the effect of Dark Pact chaining between skeletons. So it's around 6 million, not 6.4, which is what is shown here. It's around 6 million Shaper DPS, which is insane considering the fact that it's using a goddamn Tabula Rasa and gear that you can achieve in the first 2 or 3 days of a league. So basically what's happening is that we will spec out and get the life nodes, and the masteries are the ones I want to mention a lot in this video. We've skipped a lot of the HP nodes because we're using Petrified Blood. We're going to have half of our HP, which would be 2050 life with the current gear displayed in this POB. And we'd be picking up the life mastery that gives us flat 50 life. And we're picking up the melding as well as Written in Blood, as well as Purity of Flesh, because these nodes gives us life and energy shield. The other masters we're looking at is the Nimbleness, which gives us crit multi, since this is a crit build. We're going to pick up the spells, which have gained Intensify +1 maximum intensity on this one, because on single target, we're going to stand still and cast, which means we can ramp up our single target damage by having another layer of intensity stacks. We will be picking up a minion defensive mastery node, and this is mainly because we can get the increased maximum life on our skeletons, which is crucial for the increased base HP. That gives us increased base damage. We have a 60% chance to block with 72% chance to spell block with trash gear. We're going to use a shield with a spell block mod on it. We're going to pick up some life nodes through Cruel Preparation and pick up both of the chaos nodes, in which the mastery nodes here are kind of terrible. The level of chaos skills is nice, but we don't want to lose that HP and energy shield when we use a chaos skill. So instead, we're just going to take the increased effect of Withered here, which would be the best one. We don't need the chaos damage leeches energy shield. We'll get to that one. This will give us penetration and chaos, increased chaos damage, increased effect of Wither, and Wither you reflect expires slower. Just across the board, really good. We're going to use another Spectre. The reason we're going to go for this is because we get some extra minion life on the way out there. Crucial cluster, as per usual with this build, is the Blessed Rebirth. If you can get one with Hulking Corpses for more minion life, that would be preferable, but mostly we're going for the Blessed Rebirth. This is a very cheap, very low level achievable cluster notable. You can alteration craft this for a 1 chaos jewel. The nodes on Arcane Guarding helps us with spell block. You could spec into the mastery to get +1% chance to block attack per 5% block on shield with a Titanium Spirit Shield. Would give you 5% block. I didn't think that was worth it. You can change these block nodes if you feel like your defense is fine, and pick up the Disciple of Forbidden, which allows you to get a lot of scaling from your power charges, as well as the mastery to give you shock immunity when you're at maximum power charges, or just straight up damage per endurance, frenzy, and power charge, which is pretty crazy as well. So there's a little bit of variation to what you want to do. Definitely keep picking up Arcane Potency for the crit. Arcane Mastery here, Crit Mastery, gives you access to either have increased 3 levels of Critical Strike support gems when we're only using increased Critical Strikes, not Critical Strike damage in this build, Or you can just pick up the increased critical strike multiplier against unique enemies, which is 25%. Not really necessary. You can save this point early on to just spec into everything else before you take this mastery. More life mastery is not worth it because the life and recovery rate lowers your efficiency of your leeching to your life recovery. So you don't want to do this, and it's not really needed. We want to pick up Spiritual Aid, obviously, for the increased reductions to Dominion damage. Since we are playing a Necromancer, there is an Occultist version designed by Ravion. Obviously, I'll be looking into that one when it comes to the build guide. He is the original designer of this build, and I have been making a Necromancer version and the build guide for this with his blessing. We had a lot of fun with this build. The main reason for this is because we're using Necromancer, and we're going to pick up the Minion Offensive Mastery, and everything here kind of sucks. Like, actually sucks. But we're going to pick up the increased effective offering because we're using Bone Offering. That helps us get the block chance to very, very attractive numbers. On the right-hand side, however, we are going to move in all the way up here. This is a really annoying pathing. We're skipping the nodes here and actually oiling Assassination. Now, this one is a golden oil. If you can't afford that, just go for oiling Retribution, which is a little bit cheaper to oil, and the damage difference is not that big. In here, we're going to pick up Arcane Sanctuary. It gives us some more chance to block spell damage, help us with defense as well as offense. Doomcast for the crit multis. Don't need to take this critical strike chance, not really worth it. Masteries from here, not really worth bothering unless you want to spend another one in here. I think the point is worth more. Hybrid nodes for the life and energy shield, and obviously we're going to go for our energy shield leeching in here, which is the entire pool, because this gives us max total recovery per second, and this increases the total recovery per second, which is insanely good to use. And the node we're going to pick up from the leech mastery are absolutely crazy. They're disgusting. We can get damage while leeching, which is a very good modifier for this build, because we're always going to be leeching and over leeching life with this setup. But we're going to take the total recovery per second from life, mana, and energy shield, allowing us to have a stupid amount of sustainability on this build. Later on, you could be looking into picking up Light Eater, which can further emphasize on this by picking up either life or energy shield recovery rate, which is stupidly good as well with this build. So there's a lot of variations that you can run with, and that basically covers the generic rough draft of the tree for this build. We have made some adjustment in the PUB for this, and that is the HP scaling on the skeletons. The skeletons actually in this PUB has 28,481. Now the thing is, the PUB right now only shows you a 6% of the base HP from Dark Pact taking as base damage, which would be 1,708. This is not accurate. In 3.16 they buffing this by 33%. So instead it is 28,400 multiplied by 0.8. Now, this is not really accurate. That means we have to take the 28,400 HP and divide that by 0.6, divided by 0.8, right? Sorry, multiplied. Either way, we did the calculation, and the HP that we need to set with this HP to get an accurate display with the damage is to put this up and replicate an 8% Dark Pact, which ended up on 37,800 HP to give you this damage number. That kind of sums up the rough draft of the Dark Pact and what we're looking at. So the idea with this is that we're actually doing more damage than we've done before. It is going to be smoother to play. We have crazy things added to the game for the enemy guardians, such as a Gravebind with exploded chests and stuff like that. Thank you, Chainfire, for the sub, man. Appreciate it. And then we're in a situation where we have gained so much defensive layers for this build. So we're going to look at the calculation of EHP. Now, when you cap your resistances, you're going to have a 97,000 physical damage mitigation. That's your EHP, 97,000 EHP versus physical damage. And this is only with 22% fist damage mitigation. This is something you can vastly increase by not using a Tabula Rasa, having actual modifiers of physical damage mitigation on your gear, proper flask for defense if you want to use that. Elemental EHP is 218,000 with this build. It's crazy. And Chaos, with negative 52% Chaos Rest, we still have 100,700 EHP versus Chaos. It's crazy how tanky this build will be. And it was already designed to tank Delirium maps and just go crazy on the endgame content. And now they're just buffing it across the board. We got better damage. We got better gearing, to be honest. And we got better sustainability, and we also gained a lot more EHP. It's absolutely nuts with how good this build is. So it's gonna be fun to update this build. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the build. I'll leave all the links in the descriptions. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay safe and keep rocking.